A record-breaking 63% of men in their 20s are now single, and more men in their 30s who did manage to find someone are now getting divorced because they realised the person that they partnered up with wasn't right for them. We are getting worse and worse at finding the people that are right for us, despite the fact that we have all of these new modern technologies and interconnectedness that should be bringing us together. Is now more challenging than ever to find that person who is right for you and avoid the barren wasteland of being single for years and years on end, or even making the mistake of picking the wrong person. In this video, I'm going to break down to you the 3 modern habits that we've developed that are causing us to not find that right person to connect with. My name's Andrew Wilkinson, and I am a men's dating and relationship coach. I help guys from all over the world find the girlfriend that is right for them. So let's break down what I think are these 3 deadly habits. Firstly, this one annoys me so much, right? I think this is actually one of the biggest misconceptions and the biggest lies that gets told to men, because it comes from the other side. Right, so bear with me on this one. We have been told that relationships can happen when we least expect it. This is something that people constantly throw around of like, oh, don't, it'll happen for you when you least expect it. When you're not looking for it, that's when it'll happen. And do you know who that happens for? Women. And this is not me hating on women right now, to clarify, but do you know who that does happen for? Them. Because a guy has managed to decide to build up the courage to randomly drag his ugly self across and speak to her and say hi and see how it goes, and she has been living her day just like randomly going to work doing this stuff, and then out of nowhere this relationship has happened for her. But for a guy, that isn't the case, because this is literally how I met my current girlfriend. I went out to a market square with just the idea that I wanted to speak to some people. I saw a pretty girl come out of a shop. I went over and spoke to her, and now 4.5 months later, we're still together. From her perspective, relationships just happened, like out of nowhere, out of the blue. So then what happens? Women are like the primary voice in the relationship space, so they encourage this belief that relationships can just happen, which for men is a fundamentally untrue belief. And once again, this is not me complaining, this is me suggesting that you don't want to believe this because it isn't true for you. Men are hunt and seek creatures. We're meant to have that agency to go seek and go find. And when we hear this message that relationships can just happen, you never know, it's just around the corner, this isn't true. It's an awful habit to build up, to think that you just can kind of sit back and the relationship will happen, because it's not going to. If you're single right now, it is incredibly likely you're going to be single in the future, because men aren't behaving as the men they used to be, the hunt and seek creature. Because 30% of men now have never approached a woman in their life. And that includes literally being at a bar and a girl stood 2 feet away and him going and saying hi. None at all. And it gets even worse for young men, because they're getting even more scared of the opportunity to do that and abdicating that responsibility to have that agency. For young men, it's 45% of them who have never gone over and made an approach. And we've built up this habit of thinking that it's weird to go and approach. It's weird for a man to try and make the first move, to be that person who's on the front foot. We want this Disneyfication of romance of, oh, it just happened. But the thing is, those days are gone. Like, even if it might have been a little bit true maybe 25, 30 years ago, kind of pre-internet-y, when you bump into someone at Blockbusters or the supermarket. But we don't have that kind of interaction anymore. We don't go to Blockbuster, we have Netflix. We got rid of all of those random meet cute opportunities where you bump into someone else, where Literally, you just had to go out on a Friday and Saturday night because there was nothing to do at home. You went to the cinema, you went out, you left your home. As a man now, if you're single and you're thinking a relationship is just going to happen, you're wrong. It's not coming for you. You've got to put yourself out there and find it. And it's the most toxic habit to believe that it's just there waiting for you. So that's our number one. And that one annoys the hell out of me. But let's get on to number two, which is equally as awful. I think you know where I'm going with this. It's the main place, the main habit everyone has for finding a match and finding a relationship now. It's the place where if you go to it, you only have a 1 in 115 chance of being swiped right on. Yes, we have arrived at the habit of dating apps. The idea that this is the miracle cure for your relationships, that you can go on there, you'll be able to find the right girl. The right girl, this is going to sound harsh, but the right girl isn't on a dating app because she doesn't need to be. Like, the right girl for you, someone who's a great match, is probably out living her life and not reliant on the cesspool that is Tinder. And also, I'll double down on this, that even if you met who was the right girl, but you meet her through Tinder, then your relationship together won't be the same as if you'd have met outside of Tinder. Even if you meet the right girl, it's a different circumstance. Because when girls go on Tinder, they act like a girl on Tinder and they will be dismissive with messages and get overwhelmed because they've got hundreds of guys. They're not really going to respond to you. You could match with your perfect match on Tinder. They're literally the perfect person for you in the entire world. You could match with them. And it's still probably unlikely that you meet up. Just because of the mindset they're going in with, of this is just another guy. This is just another person that's trying to get my attention. Tinder isn't interested in finding you a match. It simply doesn't care. And you take that baggage into your relationship. One of the reasons I advocate for being able to walk over and approach a girl so much is because the moment you do that, you're one of one. There is no comparison point. She's experiencing you in your own unique fashion of how you would speak to her. You've gone over to her, done this unique thing. As soon as you're on Tinder, you're one of many. And that feeling will never escape because there's always that sense that you could be replaced. I found you on a dating app, which suggests the thousands of others, I could probably find someone the same as you. However, if I met you because you were brave enough, you came across in person, we had this great connection, I don't know when I'm next going to have that. So I think I want to invest heavier in this relationship because that feels less replaceable to me. You're always disposable when your initial encounter is through Tinder, so you won't find the right person for you, despite the illusion that there's so many people on there. So of course you should be able to find the right person because there's so many on there. It's fundamentally untrue. You will never find the right person on a dating app because you two will never present yourself in the most authentic manner. It won't work. Which is what takes us to number 3. One of the biggest reasons you don't find the person who's right for you is because you have a fear of expressing who you truly are for fear of rejection. One of the reasons we don't find the match for us is because we're not letting it out like a lighthouse, like a beacon of who we are. The people that end up so successful at dating, I've met guys that are like really into metal music and it's like they wear the t-shirts, they've got like tattoos, they've got the long hair and stuff, and you see him in an instant and you know who he is, and he's unashamedly a metalhead who loves it. And do you know who he attracts? Other metalhead girls that love that kind of guy that he also wants to meet. He finds the right girl because he's willing to express who he is and what he's looking for. Whenever you just leave yourself as like, you filter your speech, you dress in a way that's like mundane, you don't express who you are and what you're looking for, you will never find your perfect match because we almost need to hold up a sign of, hey, this is who I am, this is what I like, anyone else interested in this? And then a bunch of other people rush over to you like, hey, I'm interested in this. I'm willing to be with that person that is able to say that, like, I love running. Like, I run marathons, I run competitive races, and I have that as part of my identity. It's like something I'm really keen to talk about. I talk about with passion and energy, encourage others to do it. I have photos of me doing it on my Instagram. And what that does is mean that the girls that tend to take interest in me, they at least have a positive attitude towards running. And then I end up finding them to be a better match. Because if I met a girl that had no desire to ever do any exercise or anything like that, well, she's going to get repelled by me because I'm communicating who I am and what I want. And I'm not going to connect with her either. But if I start to like subjugate who I am and what I'm interested in, then maybe we can sort of falsely become compatible. And this is not just due to one area of your life. It's like, how compassionate are you? How competitive are you? When we hide who we truly are for fear of being rejected by others, all that means is we lose out on finding the right match for who we could be. So there will be all these quirky little interests you have, that niche anime that you watch, that weird hobby that you like to do, bloody knitting, or what's the one, whittling, where you like carve at wood. There'll be things about you, your sense of humour, the football team you support, these things, the more you wear them on your sleeve, the more you operate as a beacon for the person that is right for you. And we bury and we hide that, so we never find the person who's right for us. And we end up either alone or with someone that wasn't compatible. So these are the three major habits I've seen in modern day that cause us to not find the right girl. And if you can avoid them, it becomes so much easier to match that person that you could spend the rest of your life with, that you could have an amazing connection with. But if you are still struggling with this, maybe you're someone that, if you try and signal out, you're still unsure to what women want out of a man. You don't really understand women because you've never interacted with them that much. Well, this was a journey for me and something that I had to learn, that there are some things about female nature that I believe every guy should know. And it's not to start seeing women as this massively complex Da Vinci Code that they need to be, so then you can express yourself properly, you can connect, you can find the right girl. But there are a few differences. We are different. Men and women are different. And I broke down in a video the 3 fundamental rules of female nature that I think every guy needs to learn and needs to know to be able to interact with women in that more connected fashion, from more sophisticated and understanding fashion. And if you feel like you need this because you're not connecting as well as you could be, check out this video here. I guarantee you will then start to have better understanding of how women act and who they are as creatures and how they differ from who you are as a man.